I was Samuel Hansen's kept woman for 3 years. The day I found out I was accidentally pregnant, I overheard his twin brother say, "Samuel, I have been pretending to be you and sleeping with your woman for so long. If she finds out, won't she get mad and leave?" Samuel replied casually, "So what? She's not going anywhere. Besides, it's not the first time we have switched. Just don't let her get pregnant." That's gross. I didn't cry or make a fuss. I just kept playing the part of his woman, even though it wasn't really him. In private, I booked an abortion and bought a ticket to go abroad. The day I was caught getting the abortion, he lost it and grabbed his brother by the throat. "Who gave you permission to touch her?" Chapter 1. The day I found out I was pregnant, I braved through the pouring rain and went to the club Samuel usually visited. By the time I arrived, my hair was already damp. Just as I was about to push the door open and enter the private room, I heard Samuel's cold voice from inside. "Had enough fun? When are we switching back?" His twin brother, Jimmy Hansen, said, "No way. I'm not done yet." Samuel frowned. "You didn't touch her, right? You know our rule." Jimmy paused subtly, then slowly smiled. "What's there to be afraid of?" "I didn't." He picked up his wine glass. "But even if I did, you wouldn't really care, would you?" Samuel hesitated. His expression shifted. "Of course not. Just dirty, that's all." The room burst into laughter. "Mr. Jimmy, even playing your brother's girl? Come on, who wouldn't want to, with that face of Michelle's? Her body's insane too. That bouncy ass, ripe and ready. Only Mr. Samuel, who's always cold toward women, would stay away from her." The woman next to Samuel laughed. "Why does Michelle sound like a public toilet? Anyone can use her." More laughter followed. I knew that woman. She was Shania Beaufort, princess of the elite circle and Samuel's childhood sweetheart. He's pampered her all his life. Someone asked, "Whose idea was it to take it this far?" Shania raised her brow. "They're too dumb." Of course it was me. Michelle would never imagine Samuel had a twin brother. You should thank me. Without me, none of you would have had this much fun. Samuel smiled indulgently. "Yes, you're the smartest." Someone asked, "I heard Mr. Samuel is marrying Michelle in 7 days. Is that true?" Samuel chuckled. "Of course not. She wants a title, so I played along." Shania suddenly sat up straight, a mischievous gleam in her eyes. "After you two get married in 7 days, tell her the truth, that you guys took turns playing with her this whole year. I want to see her reaction. Push her into the abyss right when she's at her happiest. Isn't that fun?" Samuel smiled helplessly. "How old are you? You're still so childish." Shania pouted. "Childish or not, haven't you always given me whatever I wanted? But still, you guys better be careful not to get her pregnant by accident. Girls from the slums are real trouble once they're knocked up." Samuel frowned slightly. "Don't joke like that. None of us ever touched her." Shania tilted her head. "But what if she's really pregnant?" Samuel laughed dismissively. "Then she can get lost, right, Jimmy?" Jimmy was zoning out. Hearing his name, he snapped back and muttered, "Yeah." I looked down at the pregnancy test in my hand. There were 2 lines. I turned around and rushed out of the club. When I ran through the rain to get here, I wanted to tell Samuel the news right away. I really am pregnant. But now it seems there's no need. That afternoon, I scheduled an abortion and bought a plane ticket for the following week. It was the same day as the wedding. In the meantime, my sugar daddy Samuel would still send living expenses. Might as well I cash in. Since they plan to reveal the truth at the wedding and humiliate me, why shouldn't I beat them to it and ditch the wedding, turning their whole script into a complete joke? Anyway, I have saved quite a bit over the years as a full-time kept woman. Recently, my savings had grown twice as quickly. No wonder Samuel kept forgetting. He had already transferred money to me, over and over. The mystery was finally solved. Turns out, Samuel sent it once, and Jimmy, his twin brother, sent it again. I gently touched my secret stash. I got involved with Samuel back in college. Shania was my roommate. She loved playing mind games, twisted pranks that ruined other people's lives. In high school, she had one of her silver spoon male friends chase an ordinary girl. They would send that grill flowers, luxury goods, designer bags, non-stop, all under the guise of pursuing her. The girl had never seen that kind of attention and quickly fell for it. Right before the college entrance exams, Shania told her friend to dump the girl. Devastated and heartbroken, the girl who used to score well bombed the exam. Right after it ended, she jumped off a building and ended up in a coma. Shania went off to college in style like nothing happened and became my roommate. She set her sights on me, who was juggling 3 part-time jobs at that time. I had to. I was the campus belle with a gambling dad, a dead mom, and a sick grandma. This time, I became her new game. And Samuel Hansen? He was the leading man Shania carefully chose for me. He was a top math student at Harvard University and a campus heartthrob. Just one candid photo of him online could garner 100 million views. He was also the heir to the Hansen Group, with a future as bright as it gets. Shania picked Samuel to go after me, to make me his girlfriend. According to her script, Samuel would spoil me rotten with money and gifts. Then once I got used to it all, he would dump me, crushing me with the fall. Samuel really did treat me well. He kept giving me gifts, cared about my background, forbade me from working, and surprised me with something new every day. But I was a hoarder. However much money he gave me, I saved it all. The jewelry he gave me, I never wore it. I sold it online at high prices. I was scared of being poor, felt unworthy. The more I saved, the safer I felt. And I wasn't stupid. I could tell Samuel was acting. Every time he held my hand, I caught that flash of mockery in his eyes. I didn't know why he claimed to like me, even though he clearly didn't like me. But he was rich and dumb. So I kept hoarding because opportunities like this don't come twice in life. We dated like normal couples. We held hands, hugged, and kissed. In winter, I even knit him a scarf as a gift. The day my grandma got seriously ill, I needed money for her surgery. So I asked Samuel for the first time for an expensive birthday present. I remember he froze for a second, then smiled. I would never forget the burst of glee and amusement in his eyes, like a snake finally striking. They thought I was spoiled now, finally fallen. Everything was going according to their plan. The next day, Samuel brought up breaking up with me. Shania was eagerly waiting to see me fall apart after the breakup, crying, throwing tantrums, threatening to die, clinging to Samuel like a mess. But all she saw that I remained the same. Like nothing happened. I was still working, meeting friends, and attending classes in college. Life returned to normal. The only difference was I cut my 3 jobs down to 2. There were just a bit more freedom. Sometimes I could have steak or seared tuna and have a bottle of fresh milk after meals. I even gained 1.5 kilograms. I didn't beg to get back together. Didn't act desperate over Samuel. Right after the breakup, I deleted all his contacts, clean and complete. None of it matched Shania's expectations. She got angry and threw a fit and said the game was boring. After that, she started targeting me in the dorm. She kept hiding nails in my shoes and pouring cold water on my blanket during winter. Things remained the same until few months later. My dad lost a ton of money in gambling and owed the Hansen family a huge debt. To pay it back, he offered me as compensation. That was how I accidentally became Samuel's kept woman. Honestly, I had started thinking maybe I could really live with him. Samuel was always cold. He never touched me. But starting early this year, he suddenly began to kiss me. One night, he came home drunk. I helped him onto the sofa and made hot tea to sober him up. He suddenly wrapped his arms around my waist, pulled me into his lap, and kissed me softly. I rarely kissed before, almost ran out of air. He chuckled. So, this is what you taste like. Sweet. Next time we kiss, remember to breathe. That night, he took my virginity. After that, he began trying all kinds of wild things with me. He didn't like using condoms. He even liked messing with me when the butler and maids were around. I could only bite my lip and endure it. The more I did, the more he seemed to enjoy it. He had a weird habit. When we were doing it at night, he liked making me call his name over and over. What's my name? Samuel. You are Samuel.
Wrong.
Say it again. What's wrong with you, Samuel? He held back the rage in his eyes. The more I called his name, the rougher he got. He was a bit unhinged during sex, like a mad dog that needed to be stroked the right way. But he liked being affectionate, loved kissing me, knew my stomach was weak, and made me porridge to help. On my birthday, he set off fireworks all night over Cambridge. As they exploded in the sky, he stroked my head and said, "Baby, let's live a good life together." When I had nightmares, he would wake me gently, hold me close, and whisper, "Don't be scared, baby." And slowly, I started thinking I might like him a little. A few months ago, once again, he pushed me down and refused to use a condom. I asked, "What if I get pregnant?" He kissed me. "Then we will have the child. I will raise it." Marriage was his idea. He brought it up. That night, after everything, he leaned over me and said, "Baby, don't just be my lover, be my partner." Looking back now, from the very first time we slept together, that man probably wasn't Samuel, it was Jimmy. And the proposal was just another prank. I really did want to keep this child. But now it no longer seems worth it. 5 days left before I leave the country. By now, I could easily tell the Hanson brothers apart. Samuel was cold and gloomy, never smiled, and was a total workaholic. Jimmy loved to act clingy. He had a mole on his abs. I saw it every time he stripped. I didn't know if Samuel had that mole, as he had never touched me. This morning, when I came downstairs, Samuel was sitting there, reading a newspaper in gold-rimmed glasses. "Michelle, dress nicely today. We have guests coming." I began to think. He reads the paper in the morning, wears gold-rimmed glasses, and speaks with that distant tone that's definitely Samuel. I went back upstairs to change. By noon, Jimmy came with Shania. Looking at the face exactly like Samuel's, I pretended to be surprised. Just the right amount. Samuel introduced us. "This is my twin brother. Just got back from a business trip abroad." Jimmy reached out his hand. "Nice to meet you." I shook it. "Nice to meet you." I smiled and continued. "I didn't expect you two to look exactly the same." Jimmy's expression didn't change at all. His smile was warm and harmless. "There's still a lot you don't know." Sometimes I really admire him. After all those nights we slept together, he still pretends like we are strangers. Shania laughed. "No need to introduce me. Michelle and I were college roommates." She grabbed my arm and added, "I heard you're getting married soon." Samuel and I talked. We decided I will be your bridesmaid. Before she finished speaking, the chef came over to tell us the food was ready. At the table, Shania sat between Samuel and Jimmy. She rested her chin on her hand, smiling as she asked, "Michelle, have you noticed any changes in Samuel lately?" I knew why she asked that on purpose. She just wanted to see me make a fool of myself. So I played along. I put down my utensils and nodded. "Yeah, he really has changed a lot this past year." At that moment, the world seemed to pause. They all froze. Especially the Hanson brothers. Their faces went stiff. Then I smiled and blushed slightly. He has been treating me better. I think I like him more and more. Samuel glanced at Jimmy, looking pretty upset. While eating, Jimmy casually peeled some shrimp and placed it on my plate, speaking gently. "Baby, garlic shrimp, no shells. Your favorite." The next second, we all froze. He also suddenly realized something but stayed calm. Samuel likes to call you that. It just slipped. I nodded. You're surprisingly sweet. Samuel shot Jimmy a warning glance. I ignored them, stuffed the peeled shrimp into my mouth, and chewed. I frowned. Not good. It tasted fishy. I felt like throwing up. Covering my mouth, I rushed into the bathroom. After vomiting, Shania looked at me meaningfully. Could it be morning sickness? Both Samuel and Jimmy looked at me at the same time. I said, no, just an upset stomach lately. What's wrong with throwing up? It's good, helps you lose weight. Samuel set down his utensils, smiling coldly. Any skinnier, and you'll feel like bones. After dinner, Samuel and Jimmy walked Shania home. They came back late. Once he got home, he went straight to the shower. I wasn't sure whether it was Samuel or Jimmy in there now. Then I saw the phone he left on the nightstand. I casually picked it up. I tried entering Shania's birthday. We were roommates once. She always made a scene on her birthday. It was hard to forget. The phone unlocked. I opened WhatsApp and scrolled through the chat between Samuel and Jimmy. Samuel switched back in a few days. Jimmy, no. I'm not done playing. Samuel, she said you treated her really well this year. Don't tell me you caught feelings for her. Jimmy, no way. Didn't you say it yourself? The better we treat her, the harder she will fall when the dream shatters. Most of the year, it's been me with her. Just a few days left. I don't want her to get suspicious. Samuel, got it. You really didn't do it with her? Jimmy, no.
Why?
Do you care? Samuel, no. I just don't want my toy to get dirty. Listen, play if you want, but don't cross the line. That's the rule. It looked like it was Jimmy who came home tonight. 10 minutes later, he finished showering and came in. I kept playing Candy Crush on my phone, pretending I saw nothing. Jimmy gently took my wrist, clearly implying something. You got your nails done that long again? My back's covered in scratch marks. I said, then call the cops. He paused, then laughed low. Baby, why are you so cute? He cupped my face and leaned in to kiss me. His hand wandered, slipping under my clothes. I quickly pushed him away. My stomach hurts today. He frowned. Stomach? Is your stomach acting up again? I shook my head.
No.
His hand moved to my lower belly. I'll rub it for you. I brushed his hand off. No need. His hand froze mid-air. After a while, he let out a cold snort.
Fine.
Suffer then. I don't care anymore. We didn't speak for a long time. That night, the pain in my belly wouldn't let go. I kept tossing and turning on the bed, curling up into a ball. Sometime later, Jimmy let out a quiet sigh. He pulled me into his arms and gently patted my back, his voice thick with sleep and a little hoarse. Baby, it's okay now. It's okay. When I was little, my mom used to pat my back like that. That memory felt so distant now, almost like a dream. However, I found it incredibly ironic that Jimmy was doing this. In the morning, I woke up groggy to find Jimmy already up. He was standing by the bed, scrolling through my phone, his expression anything but pleasant. Seeing me awake, he looked down with a fake smile, like a damp ghost from a horror film. Baby, be honest, are you hiding something from me? I yawned lightly. What could I possibly hide from you? His face darkened, and he sneered. Not telling me? All right then, tell me this. He shoved my phone in front of my face, almost touching my nose. Why did an abortion clinic send you pre-operation instructions? His voice grew colder. Baby, how come I didn't know you were pregnant? At that moment, I froze, temples pounding. But I quickly regained composure. Oh, don't overreact. Probably I clicked on some ad by accident while browsing shady sites. If I really were pregnant, of course I'd tell you. So, I could have you wrapped around my finger. Jimmy raised an eyebrow. You browse shady sites? I nodded. Learning a bit more doesn't hurt. He tilted my chin up. The stuff I teach you every day isn't enough, is it? Keep learning, and I just might lose my mind. He pulled me into his arms. Come on, tell me, what exactly have you been learning? I replied, no idea. I didn't remember any of it. He suddenly laughed. You're dumb. Looks like I'll have to teach you myself. Then he looked into my eyes. Michelle, in 4 days, we're getting married. When that day comes, I'll make you the happiest bride in the world. All right. I didn't answer. We wouldn't tie the knot, we had no future. Samuel and Jimmy were busy preparing for the wedding. I was busy packing for going abroad and transferring all the assets I got from the Hanson family. I had a best friend overseas, Erica Howard. She already reserved a bed for my abortion at a hospital there. She also found me a place to stay with floor-to-ceiling windows and a big balcony, just how I like it. My living expenses arrived too. I received 2 transfers, one from each brother. In the afternoon, Jimmy took me to try on wedding dresses. He poked my stomach. Your belly's a bit round. Been eating well lately? I covered my stomach. Mind your own business. He laughed. We're getting married soon. Why's your temper worse? He lifted my hand and slid a ring on my finger. It was a massive diamond, the size of a pebble. He hugged me. Great. You'll be mine soon. I let him hug me and gave a soft Quietly, I calculated how much the ring might sell for. 2 days left before I go abroad. I splurged at a bar for the first time and hired a few gigolos to drink with me and dance dirty. I wanted to see what it's like to casually pick a man for fun. 1 drink in, I coughed and choked. At that moment, I heard an unfamiliar voice. Shania was at the bar not far off. Drunk out of her mind, she slurred, once we are done with her at the wedding, just kick her out. It's so annoying that she's always sticking around you too. For the first time, Samuel didn't agree right away. He paused, then slowly said, we will talk about it later. Shania froze and looked at Jimmy. Jimmy, what about you? He looked away too. She's so clingy. I mean, to Samuel. If we just kick her out, I'm afraid she won't take it well. Shania looked annoyed. You're not getting soft, are you? Back in college, you both agreed to prank Michelle. We didn't pull it off then, and Michelle didn't even go crazy after the breakup. You two weren't happy about it either. You said you wanted another shot to mess with her. This time's perfect. We should crush her completely. The guys drinking with them started smoothing things over. Shania actually cares about you too. Michelle is nothing. Play her and toss her. Do you really want to make Shania sad? Don't forget, when we played house as kids, you fought to be her husband. She grew up with you. You'd give her the stars if she asked. This small thing? No need to say no. If she's being difficult, Samuel might as well give her breakup sex. He's never touched her all these years. Let her have that at least. I held my breath, waiting for their answer. After a long pause, I heard Samuel speak softly. Yeah, got it. At that moment, my heart skipped a beat. Yeah, just as expected. On the wedding day, Samuel wore a perfectly tailored black suit, looking striking. Jimmy wore a white groomsman's suit, surrounded by admiration. Shania wore her custom-made bridesmaid dress, more like a glamorous gown, even fancier than my custom wedding dress. She looked like a little princess. She held a camcorder, ready to capture my breakdown and despair, to make it her trophy. She filmed every victim of her pranks as a keepsake. She probably wanted everyone to see how I would react after realizing I had been played by 2 men for an entire year, passed between them like a joke. She even hired someone to live stream it. The viewers didn't know what was going on, but seeing a wedding, they all sent their blessings. She smiled at the camera and said, No, I'm not the bride. I'm just the childhood sweetheart of the groom and best man. They have spoiled me since we were kids. Of course, I would be the bridesmaid at his wedding. Really? I'm not as pretty as you say. If you keep complimenting me like this, the bride might get upset. She's actually a bit petty, but I have prepared a special gift for her today. Stay tuned, okay? The live stream audience started talking about the bride, but by noon, when the guests had mostly arrived, the bride still hadn't shown up. Samuel's expression shifted. He started sensing something was wrong. He dialed my number, only to discover that I had blocked him. He sent a message. Michelle, it's our wedding day. Don't make trouble today. Just then, gasps erupted from the guests. The wedding hall's big screen lit up, playing the full recording from that night at the club. Jimmy's voice came first. Samuel, I have been pretending to be you and playing with your kept woman for so long. If she finds out, won't she get mad and leave? So what? She's not going anywhere. Besides, it's not the first time we've switched. Just don't let her get pregnant. That's gross. I heard Mr. Samuel is marrying Michelle in 7 days. Is that true? Of course not. The girl wants a title, so I played along. Pfft. Why does Michelle sound like a public toilet, like anyone can use her? After you two get married in 7 days, tell her the truth that you guys took turns playing with her this whole year. I want to see her reaction. Push her into the abyss right when she's at her happiest. Isn't that fun? The wedding immediately descended into chaos. At the end of the video, the screen showed a mocking yellow emoji, along with a few lines of text. Game over. Satisfied? Oh, right, Jimmy. I have been too polite to say it, but you are terrible in bed. I didn't enjoy it at all.
Not one bit.
Not even close to the 8 gigolos I hired. Goodbye forever. I really don't have time to play with you all anymore. The live stream's viewer count skyrocketed as the chat became filled with noise. LMAO. This clique tried to prank someone and ended up getting reversed.
Disgusting.
The girl deserves a slap, but the guys deserve 10 slaps each. If they didn't agree, this whole mess wouldn't have happened. Where's the bride? Did she run away? Isn't it obvious? Half the wedding's over, and she hasn't shown. Ridiculous. They wanted to humiliate her during the wedding, and now they are the ones humiliated. How does it feel? Shania's face turned ghostly pale. She covered her face and screamed hoarsely. Turn it off. Shut the live stream down now. Meanwhile, I had just landed abroad. Opening my arms to my best friend waiting at the airport, I shouted with joy, Erica, I'm finally free. After arriving in France, I stayed with Erica. She watched the live stream of Shania's wedding and laughed, slapping her thigh. They wanted to fool you, but who would have thought you were acting too? When did your brain get so smart? Did you hear the rumors? The Hanson family's in chaos. Word is, after you left, the 2 brothers went crazy looking for you. That didn't surprise me. After all, I humiliated them hard before I left. Especially Jimmy. I even made a point of saying he was terrible in bed. Though honestly, he was actually quite good. He always left me half dead. But since I was walking away clean, I had to be cold and ruthless. I took a bite of an apple and said, by the way, Erica, how's the abortion appointment going? Erica answered, don't worry, just need a few checkups. Good. Let's do it as soon as possible. Leave it to me. Erica went with me to the hospital for all the tests. I was getting a painless abortion. A week before the procedure, Erica bought me a big box of snacks to cheer me up. I hugged it, eyes misty. Life can't be the same with just anyone. On surgery day, I lay on the bed, got the anesthesia, and slowly lost control of my body. My mind began to blur.
Just then, someone approached me.
Is that the doctor? I asked myself. The footsteps came closer and closer. I struggled to open my eyes. I couldn't tell clearly what I saw, but a chill ran down my back. Then came a shiver of horror. The people who entered weren't doctors. It was Samuel, Jimmy, and a group of black-clad Hanson family bodyguards. The last voice in my head whispered, "Oh no." I wanted to move, to escape, but the anesthesia had paralyzed me. I was like a lamb waiting to be slaughtered. In the last moment of clarity, Samuel bent down gently and carried me out. Jimmy stood behind him, clenching his fists. I woke up in an unfamiliar house. Samuel was sitting quietly by my bedside. Around his neck was a dark blue scarf I had knitted for him years ago. It clashed with his luxury custom clothes. Seeing me awake, he looked at me and asked with a hoarse voice, "You're awake. Are you hungry?" I looked at him. "What are you doing here?" He sighed softly and gently stroked my head. "If I want to find you, there's always a way." I nervously shrank back. "Why find me? To torture me?" He froze, frowning. "Why think that? Have I ever been rough with you? In that case, let me go." "Not a chance." He hugged me tightly. "From now on, I won't let you go anywhere." From that day on, Samuel kept me locked in the house. I started a hunger strike, refusing to eat or drink every day. When he found out, he sat in front of me with a plate, trying to feed me. "I know I wronged you, but you can't hurt yourself." I only said one thing the whole time. "I want to leave." "Leave? Go where?" "To a place without you." "Why?" he asked. "I can give you everything you want. I can hold you in the palm of my hand and let you live a life of luxury." "Or have you fallen for Jimmy?" I looked at him coldly. "What's the difference? You're both scum. Don't make me choose between chocolate that tastes like shit and shit that tastes like chocolate, okay?" He seemed hurt by my words, silent for a long time. When he spoke, his voice was hoarse. "Michelle, I actually want to marry you properly." That day, I already warned Jimmy not to listen to Shania or say anything to you. "Let you marry in peace. I won't let him near you again." I sneered. "You were pretty generous when you sent me to his bed." His face turned pale. "I never meant that. I never let him touch you. That was our rule. I didn't know he would do that. I know you are hurting and feel wrong now. Don't worry. I will get you better doctors and nurses. You won't suffer losing this child. I won't let Shania bully you anymore. I have ruined her family. I will use everything I have to make it up to you. Let's pretend nothing happened. Whatever you want, I will give it to you." Suddenly, I raised my hand and slapped him hard. "In your dreams. Do you think I will just forget? No way." Samuel slowly turned his face to the side. He wiped the blood at his lip and said, "Feel better? If not, keep going." I said coldly, "Get lost." He was silent a long time, then slowly stood up. "I'll come again tomorrow." That night, in my dream, I curled up under the covers, crying alone on my college dorm bed. I never told anyone, actually. The night I broke up with Samuel in college, I cried quietly. But I had grown used to hiding my scars, used to crying in silence. Only depending on myself, licking my wounds in silence. Did I love Samuel? I must have. Otherwise, why did my heart hurt so much that night? Why did I feel so miserable? Why did I spend the whole night blaming myself for asking him for gifts, knowing he didn't really like me? In the dream, I felt someone gently cover my eyes. He said, "Baby, don't cry anymore. Don't cry." The next day, when I opened my eyes, standing in front of me was Jimmy. He had smuggled me out from Samuel's house. He had injuries, bruises around his neck and red veins in his eyes as if he hadn't slept in days. He said to me, "I'm sorry." I felt numb. I had heard too many apologies these days. He looked at me with pain in his eyes. "He didn't hurt you, did he?" I said, "Isn't it ironic for you to ask me that? Between these two who hurt me, which one was any better?" He pressed his lips tight. He wanted to ask why I didn't tell him I was pregnant. But when he opened his mouth, no words came out. Yeah, they had said it themselves. If I were pregnant, they would tell me to get lost. He knew he had no right to ask. His hand clenched tightly. Michelle, you knew all along this was a game. So all the kisses, hugs, fights, and every I love you said to me this past year, were they all fake? I wanted to say that he was right. It was all fake. But I sighed deeply instead. Jimmy, I'm not a professional actress. I cannot fake love. The day you kissed me first, I was so happy I couldn't sleep all night, thinking you finally cared about me. I told myself I would treat you even better in return. I really thought about having your child and living a good life with you. His pupils trembled violently, and his face gradually lost its color. I looked at him, my voice calm as if telling someone else's story. I admit, on my birthday you sent fireworks all over the city. You woke me from nightmares and patiently comforted me no matter how tired you were. I was so happy. You said you wanted to give me a grand wedding and have a child with me. Before I overheard those words at the club that day, I believed you. I even started loving poetry and quietly thought about what we would name our child. That day, I braved the heavy rain to find you to tell you I was pregnant. But I'm not a fool. No one can stand being treated like a toy by someone they love. Now I can tell you clearly, I hate you both. His eyes filled with tears. He reached out to touch me but pulled back sharply, biting his lip until it bled. Please, don't write me off like this. At least tell me, what can I do to ease your hatred a little? Outside, the wind swept dry leaves against the glass. I looked into his shattered eyes and whispered, "Let me go." He clenched his hand, trembling as he took a deep breath. After a long moment, he squeezed out broken words from his throat. "Fine, I will let you go. Erica found out something happened to me at the hospital and nearly flew back home to find me. When she got to the airport, she saw me sitting there, zoning out. She hurried over, checked me thoroughly, and then gave me a tearful hug. They didn't do anything to you, right?" I patted her head. "Don't worry. They didn't." She cried and said, "I thought those two lunatics wouldn't let you go unless they skinned you. They actually let you go just like that."
Yeah.
I thought for a moment. Maybe they wanted to do some good deeds. After that, I never saw the Hanson brothers again. Erica and I lived together, laughing every day, happily forgetting the world. Sometimes later, news came from back home. After Shania's family went bankrupt, she tried to get close to some rich heir who once liked her, hoping to return to a life of luxury. But all her dirty tricks got exposed, and her so-called prank trophies were made public. Then someone doxed her. The mother of that high school girl who jumped off the building found Shania, said nothing, and splashed sulfuric acid on her face. Shania's face was completely ruined. The Hanson family wasn't doing well either. The brothers fought with each other constantly, and the company was a mess. I heard Samuel never stopped looking for me. But I also heard someone had tampered with his car. He got into a car crash. He ended up paralyzed from the waist down. Jimmy officially took over the Hanson company. 3 years has passed. I ran into Jimmy. At the time, I was walking with my daughter, who had just turned 3. He saw the little girl in a pink dress standing beside me, and his eyes lit up. "Michelle, is she my?" I knew what he wanted to ask, so I cut him off. "She's not your daughter. I got married." His eyes dimmed. He went silent for a long time. In the end, he forced out a few awkward words. "Right. That's good." He walked away, looking miserable. I let out a breath. Actually, I never remarried. That day at the abortion hospital with Erica, after everything I went through, I couldn't go through with the abortion. Years passed, and my daughter grew more and more beautiful. She began to look more and more like Jimmy. He wasn't stupid. He obviously knew the child was his. All these years, he had been sending money to my bank account through an anonymous account. But he never dared come see me. 7 a.m. I was curled up in bed, yawning. My daughter, wearing her backpack, patted me. Mom, I'm going to school. I kissed her. Sweetheart, don't forget to bring me 2 hot dogs after school. Extra spicy. She giggled. Got it, foodie mom. Extra chapter. The day Jimmy let Michelle go, he had actually wanted to say something. At first, he really was following Shania's idea, coming just to mess with her. But Michelle was too obedient. When she cried, she was like a cat, silent. When she cried, he realized his heart ached, thumping painfully. Before he knew it, he had started falling for her. At first, it was romantic, but slowly, he began to fear that Shania would find out the truth. He was drowning in his own lies, trying desperately to be good to her. He wanted to live a good life with her. But he didn't know whether Michelle liked Samuel or him. If she had to choose, who would she choose? He even thought about getting her pregnant, using the child to secure his place. That was his only chance. On the wedding day, he wanted her to know the truth, but he was also scared. He had it all planned. When the truth came out, he would be gentle. He would tell everyone he loved her deeply, truly. The day the brothers caught Michelle going for an abortion, Samuel went mad, choking him. Who said you could touch her? He had never seen him like that. Jimmy thought, Samuel must love her too. The two of them really had it coming. He wanted to tell Michelle he had lied a lot. But the one truth was that he truly loved her. But when the words reached his lips, he couldn't say them. Forget it, he thought. This love, which belonged in the shadows, was better left unsaid. He didn't need to disgust her more. She should go down a wide road, toward the light, a path where he didn't belong. A road where he didn't belong.
The end.
Thank you for watching our video. For more amazing stories, make sure to subscribe to our channel.